Over to you, Nandana.
Thank you, Aparna. So, good evening, all. Here is my presentation. So, first of all, I am Nandana Rajesh. I am MSW second year from Sri Shabrisha College, Kottayam. So, my topic is decolonizing social work, a human right based approach to promoting indigenous inclusion and self determination. So, first of all, I want to tell that this is a subtopic from the main topic promoting indigenous inclusion, human right based social work practice. And as we all give a depth overview about how we apply the indigenous knowledge or indigenous social work application level, etc. So first of all, we want to have a brief knowledge about the concepts regarding decolonizing social work or indigenous social work. So here my paper is about it is a conceptual framework regarding the concepts under indigenous social work. So we can move on to the topic. First of all, it's a introduction. So, decolonizing social work requires a critical examination of the historical and ongoing impacts of colonization on indigenous communities. So, this presentation explores the importance of promoting indigenous inclusion and self determination through human rights based social work practice. So, here I want to aware about or I want to explain about the key points like, first of all, decolonizing social work. So, this is a concept involves recognizing and addressing the historical and ongoing impacts of colonization on indigenous communities. And also, we have to aware about the concept critical examination. So, a critical examination of the impacts of colonization is necessary to understand the complex issues faced by the indigenous communities. And third content is the indigenous inclusion and self-determination. So promoting a indigenous inclusion and self-determination is essential for addressing the historical injustices faced by the indigenous communities. And final one is human rights based social work practice. So this approach prioritizes the dignity, autonomy, and self-determination of indigenous people. So these are the four concepts like decolonizing social work, critical examination, indigenous inclusion and self-determination, human rights based social work practice. These four concepts are under this content. So, before moving to the more about the impact of colonization, I want to tell about the research paper analysis, like the research methodology of this paper. So, here I had to the qualitative research approach, which was employed to explore the experiences and perspectives of indigenous people and social workers. And also, some literature reviews are taken which is based on the decolonization of social work, like the books of Grey and Yellow Bird. Also, several books based on the indigenous self-determination and also human rights-based social work practice. So, here the problem statement is mainly regarding the historical or ongoing impacts of colonization and lack of indigenous self-determination and need for decolonizing the social work. So, here we have to explain the impact of colonization. So, first of all, what is the impact of colonization? So, here, first one is the historical trauma and the ongoing systematic injustices. So, the historical events and policies that have caused trauma and harm to indigenous communities, such as forced relocation, violence, and cultural suppression. Second one is cultural erasure or marginalization, which is based on the intentional suppression or erasure of indigenous cultures, languages, and traditions, often through forced assimilation policies. Third one is dispossession and displacement from ancestral lands. So, the forced removal of indigenous people from their ancestral lands, often resulting in loss of traditional ways of life and cultural heritage and economic self sufficiency. And the last one is intergenerational trauma and its effects on mental health and well being. The ongoing impact of historical trauma on indigenous communities passed down through generations, affecting mental health, well being, and cultural identity. So, next we move on to the human rights based social work practice. So, here, a human right based approach to social work practice prioritizes the dignity, autonomy, and self determination of indigenous peoples. So, this approach recognizes the historical and ongoing impacts of colonization and seeks to address these injustices through community led solutions. So, here we have to know about several key points like human rights based approach. What is human rights based approach? So this approach, as I already said, which prioritizes the dignity, autonomy, and self-determination of indigenous people. And also, this approach prioritizing the indigenous voices, like the social work practice should center indigenous voices and perspectives to ensure that their needs and concerns are addressed. And also, under this approach, there are community led initiatives. Like community led initiatives should be prioritized to ensure that indigenous people have control over their own lives and communities. And also, this will help to address the historical injustices. Like it should acknowledge and address the historical and ongoing impacts of this colonization on indigenous communities. So next, what are the key principles under this human right based approach? Which is first one is centering indigenous voices and perspectives. So centering indigenous voices and perspectives means prioritizing the voices, experiences, and perspectives of indigenous people in social work practice. So, what is its importance? Recognizes the historical marginalization of indigenous voices and perspectives, which seeks to readdress the imbalance. So, second principle is acknowledging and addressing historical trauma and ongoing systematic injustices. So, before moving to that topic, what is the application of centering indigenous voices and perspectives? So, mainly the social workers should actively seek out and amplify indigenous voices, involve indigenous peoples in decision making process, and ensure that their perspectives inform social work practice. So, this is the meaning, importance, and application of centering indigenous voice and perspectives principle. Second one is, as I already said, acknowledging and addressing historical trauma and ongoing systematic injustices. So basically, the meaning of that principle is recognizing the historical and ongoing impacts of colonization, dispossession, and systematic racism on indigenous communities. And basically, the importance of this principle is acknowledges the ongoing effect of historical trauma and systematic injustices and seeks to address these through social work practice. And what's its application? Application is social workers should acknowledge these historical traumas and these systematic injustices and work to address these through advocacy, education, and community led initiatives. So, third principle is promoting cultural safety and humility. So, basically, the meaning of this principle means creating a safe and respectful environment for indigenous people, which is free from cultural bias and stereotypes. And how is it important? Or why it is important, which recognizes the importance of cultural safety in building trust and promoting positive outcomes for indigenous people. And when it comes to its application, social workers should prioritize cultural safety and be aware of their own cultural biases and work to create a safe, respectful environment for these indigenous people. So fourth one is supporting community-led initiatives and self-determination. So basically the meaning is supporting indigenous-led initiatives and promoting self-determination, autonomy and decision-making power for indigenous people. And the importance is recognizes the importance of indigenous self-determination and autonomy in promoting positive outcomes and addressing historical injustice. And when it comes to its application, it should support or social workers should support community-led initiatives and prioritize these indigenous self-determination and work to address systematic barriers to indigenous autonomy and decision-making power. So these are the basic principles comes under the human rights based approach. So next we move upon to the basic strategies, like how we done this thing or how we carry out these principles. So here is the basic strategy. Basic strategies are first upon developing community-led programs and services. Second, providing cultural safety training for social workers and other professionals, and also advocating for policy and legislative changes that support indigenous self-determination. So I doesn't move to explain this because I already said what are the principles. So these strategies are always come so close with these principles itself. So, before going to an end, I want to tell several case studies regarding this things like this human based approach or decolonization of social work, etc. So first one is the case study one is indigenous led community development projects, which is comes in Canada. So here a community development project led by an indigenous organization aimed to revitalize traditional indigenous practices and promote self-determination. So basically the features of that community project is which empower the community-led decision-making process, also which incorporate the traditional indigenous knowledge and practices, also which help to focuses on promoting indigenous self-determination and cultural revitalization. And also there is a second case study which is culturally responsive mental health services. Culturally responsive mental health services was a institution which is located in Australia. So which basically it is a mental health service provider developed a culturally responsive program for indigenous client incorporating traditional healing practices, indigenous cultural knowledge. Basically, the key features of that institution is which gives a culturally responsive service delivery, also the incorporation of traditional indigenous healing practices, and also which focus on promoting the indigenous cultural safety and well-being. Also there is one more case study which is based on New Zealand indigenous self-government initiative. Basically that is an indigenous community established a self-government initiative allowing them to manage their own affairs and make decisions about their lands and resources. So mainly the key features of that is indigenous self-governance and decision making, recognition of indigenous rights to lands and resource, and also which is also focused on promoting the indigenous self-determination and autonomy. So these are the several case studies under Canada, Australia, and New Zealand, which gives an example for the global perspectives of decolonizing the social work. So finally, when it comes to the conclusion, I have to conclude that we will find out the concepts like decolonizing social work, indigenous community, human right based social work practice, its influence on decolonizing social work in the indigenous community. So decolonizing social work requires a critical examination of the historical and ongoing impacts of colonization on indigenous community and a human right based approach to decolonizing social work. Which prioritize this indigenous self-determination and a more inclusive and thank you.
Thank you, Nandana. Now is the time for any questions or doubts. The participants can type them in the chat or raise your hands or unmute the mic to ask directly, please. The participants can ask any doubts or questions. Yes, there is. I think there are no further doubts or queries. So thank you, Nandana, for your insightful presentation and all the participants for the participation and engagement. Thank you.
Thank you, Aparna, for moderating two of the presentations. Now, I would like to welcome Apunjaya for moderating the presentation of Usman.
Am I audible?
Yes, you are.
Okay. Good evening to everyone. Assam here. Myself Abhijinya, trainee social worker of Sri Shabrisha College, Kerala. And I would like to extend a warm welcome to everyone, especially Mr. Usman Mohammad Dagi, whom I am here to moderate at this international conference hosted by the MSW Department of Sri Shabrisha College, Kerala. I would like to promptly invite Mr. Usman Mohammad Dagi, Department of Social Development, Kano State Polytechnic, Nigeria, to present on the topic Empowering Women through Social Work, Strategies and Impact. I hope the presentation will enlighten us and provide valuable insights. Let us give him our undivided attention. Sir, please continue your presentation.
Good day, everyone. My name is Usman Muhammad Ndagi, Kano State Polytechnic, Department of Social Development. Sincere appreciation and profound gratitude to everyone in this platform. I'm here to present empowerment women through social work strategies and impacts. Can we move to the next introduction? Now, before starting to introduction, the topic is empowering women through social work strategies and impacts. Introduction. Empowering women is a critical process for achieving gender equality, social justice, and sustainable community development. Social work play a vital role in fostering this empowerment through structure, intervention, and support mechanism. This paper explores the strategies and impacts of social work in empowering women, focusing on key rules, case study, and method, with a particular emphasis on the community of Agi local government, Niger State, Nigeria. After introduction, I'd like to share more light on empowerment. When we talk about empowerment, it's the process of enabling individuals or groups to gain control, authority, and confidence in their own lives and decisions. It can involve and provide access to resources like knowledge and opportunities. Women empowerment aim at enhancing their social functioning by quality and quantity change, particularly in the field of education, health, and empowerment. Can we move to the next? Yeah. This is role of social work in empowering women, enhancing community capacity. That is to identify client constraints and strengths by planning and implementing solutions to address challenges that women are facing within the community. B. Leveraging resources. Leveraging resources, assisting clients in accessing necessary resources, and also developing social services program for optimal benefits, enhancing community among the humanitarian works, and addressing obstacles in the social services process. C. Improving social service network, creating compassionate and responsive social welfare system, and also ensure the delivery essential services to community. D. By promoting social justice, analyzing social issues and their implication, and also drafting the policy recommendation for new and improving policies, translating public policies into actionable social program. The combination of those rules enable economically versatile women to achieve self-reliance and improve their quality of life. Can we move to the next? All right. Strategy for empowerment women through social work. One, enhancing community capacity. By enhancing community capacity, we need to identify challenges and strengths of women in their environment. By also developing and implement tailored solutions for self-reliance, for them to have something for their future. Also train women in skills, address their personal and community issues. Two, resources mobilization. By resources mobilization, we can connect women with available financial, education, and social resources. Design and promote social services programs that cater to women's needs. Facilitate partnership among humanitarian organizations to enhance resources availability. Three, strengthen social services network. Build compassionate and responsive welfare system that prioritize women's needs to ensure seamless access to services like healthcare, education, and legal aid. Four, promoting social justice. By promoting social justice, we need to advocate for gender-sensitive policies and programs, addressing social issues such as domestic violence, economic disparity, and political exclusion. Develop policy recommendations to eliminate barriers to women's empowerment. Number five, which is economic empowerment. By economic empowerment, as a strategy for social work, we need to provide skills development and entrepreneurship training to women in the society. Offer a microfinance and credit facility to promote self-employment, creating job opportunity that to ensure a financial independence for women in society. Educational empowerment. Number six, social and cultural awareness. Social and cultural awareness organize group activities to encourage shared experience and mutual support, challenges traditional norms, and hinder women's progress. Number seven, political perspective. Political perspectives encourage women to engage in decision-making process at local and national levels, train women in leadership skills for active participation in governance. By combining these strategies with the methodologies of social work, such as casework, group work, and community organization, empowerment initiative can create sustainable change and foster equality for women within the society or community. Next, can we move next? Can we move to the next? Are you there? Hi. Can we move to the next? The
Aditya,
slide does
can
not
you
move.
take the next slide?
Yes, the slide is not move. Next. Are you there? Yeah. Impact of social work. Impact of social work has on women empowerment. As we can see, it's like ABC, like three in number. Social work can impact a varieties of women empowerment, which is economic independence. Economic independence is one of the impacts of social work to empower women's transition from independence into self-sufficiency, encouragement of women to start home-based business like small business. B, improve attitudes and mindsets to adoption of proactive attitude and advanced thinking, increasing innovation to explore talent and hobbies. C, enhance access public services. By enhance access public services, need to better utilization of government programs, improve ability to meet social needs through empowered participation. Those efforts align with broader objective of enhancing problem solving skills, connecting clients with necessary resources, and fostering sustainable empowerment. Strategies for empowerment, economic empowerment, gradually control over financial resources. In summary, the empowerment of women is essential for achieving gender equality, social justice, and sustainable development. Social work play a pivotal role in this process. Truly key strategies including enhanced community capacity, mobilizing resources, improving social services network, and advocating for social justice. These rules enable women to achieve reliance, access public services, and develop their potentials. Now, can we move to the next conclusion? In conclusion, empowering women requires holistic approach involving economic, social, political, and education intervention. Social work play a crucial role in the process by providing resources, fostering awareness, and advocating for systemic change. By integrating traditional values with contemporary strategies, social work can effectively address barriers to women and create a more equitable society. This success observed in treatment and transformative potential for dedicated social work practice. The keywords can be empowerment, social work, women, community development, economic independence, and social justice. That is the conclusion. Thank you all, my friends, and everyone in this platform. Any question?
Thank you, sir. That was a great presentation. Are there any further questions? If any, you may please unmute the mic and ask the questions.
You're welcome. Any observation?
Any questions?
Any query?
Okay, thank you, sir, once again.
You are welcome.
Okay, thank you, Abhinjaya, for moderating the presentation. Now, I would like to welcome Paul, the trainee social worker of Sri Shabrisha College, Kerala, for Bashir presentation.
Hello, good evening, everyone. Is me audible?
Yes, you are.
Okay.
Great.
Paul Orgis, trainee social worker, Sri Sapisha College, Kerala, and I would like to invite Mr. Bashir Tijani, PhD scholars in adult education, specialized in community development, Bairo University, Kano, Nigeria, and he is presenting a paper on the examining the work of Herbert Marcus Albert Camus and the American and the specific contributions to community development practices in Nigeria. And I welcome Mr. Bashir Chajini too for the paper presentation. Hello, sir. Hello, sir.
Yes, sir. Are you there?
Yes, yeah, here.
Mr. Bashir, are you there?
Hello, Mr. Bashir, sir. Are you there?
Mr. Bashir, are you there or you are not yet ready? Hello. Hello, Mr. Bashir.
Sir, can you please unmute the mic, sir? Bashir, sir?
Mr. Bashir, you are speechless. We are waiting for you, Mr.
I think that Bashir sir is having some technical issues. Let's wait for some minutes.
Time is on. It goes on. Mr. Bashir, don't be speechless. Time is going on.
Hello, Mr. Bashir, sir.
Are you hearing me?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You are here, bro.
Okay, can I go ahead?
Sure, sure. Your presentation is here.
Okay, thank you. My name once again is Bashir Tijani. I'm currently presenting my paper here in Kano State, Nigeria. Indeed, I'm very happy to have this privilege to be with you in this global international conference. The quest for community development in Nigeria is a complex and multifaceted endeavor as the country grapples with the challenges of poverty, inequality, and social injustice. It is essential to draw on the insight of critical thinkers who have shaped our understanding of human development and social change. This analysis brings together the works of Haber Marcus, Albert Camus, and Amartya Sen to examine the tensions between theory and the reality in community development practice in Nigeria. Habermas's life between 1898 to 1979 was of German Jewish background and studied philosophy at Berlin. He was a part of the Institute for Social Research. In its early days in Germany, and immigrated to the United States in 1934. During the Second World War, he worked in Office of War Information and the Office of Secret Services of the United States. And after the war, in the State Department, in 1952, he became a professor at Columbia and later associated with Harvard and Brandeis universities and the University of California and San Diego. Finally, he retired in 1976. Habermas's critical theory provides a framework for analyzing the power dynamics and the social structures that shape community development outcomes. Really, Habermas's that's a his theory on critical theory was a key figure in the Frankfurt School, which developed critical theory. He critiqued modern capitalist societies, highlighting the tension between individual freedom and societal repression. Albert Camus, 1930, lives between 1930 and 1960, was a journalist, editor. Are you hearing me, please? Hello?
Yes, sir.
Was a journalist, editor, and a journalist, playwright, and director, novelist, and author of short stories, political essays, and activist. Was born in French Algeria to a nowhere parent. That means he was staying at Algeria, and he spent his childhood in poor neighborhoods, and later studied philosophy at the University of Algeria. Albert Camus opposed systematic philosophy. He had a little faith in rationalism, asserted rather than owed many of his main ideas, presenting others in metaphors, was preoccupied with the immediate and personal experience. Albert Camus' concept of the absolute highlights the importance of acknowledging and confronting community development practice. Now, Amartya Kumar Sen is an Indian economist and a philosopher born on November 1933 in Santiketan, West Bengal, and Indian. He's best known for his contribution to welfare economics, social choice theory, and development economics, for which he was awarded the Nobel Memorial Prize in Economics Science in 1998. For his contribution to welfare economics and his work on poverty/famine, human development theory, as well as gender aspects in economic development. Now, looking the theory of capitalism on Amartya Sen, some of the important ideas in the book put forward by Marcus are the decline of the visionary potential in capitalist societies and development of new forms of the creation of policy needs in advanced industrial societies. So that critical thinking, you see how the coming up with outcomes as a result of that in this critical thinking that Marcus did. Equally, he thought about mass media, advertising, industrial management, contemporary modes of thought that reproduce the existing system. This system and try to eliminate opposition, critique, and negativity. As a result of time, let me quickly look in the work of these three critical thinkers, that are Habermas, Albert Camus, and Amartya Sen. Essentially, are influential thinkers from different philosophical traditions. While they may not have directly addressed community development practices, but their ideas have implication for understanding and promoting community development. Let's quickly go to page, do the time, page slide 15. Slide 15 here, where I talk about the paper try to highlight capability, what our Saint did. Saint capability is defined is determined by the different lifestyle that an individual can choose. A capability is a person's ability to do value acts, to reach valuable states of being. It represents the alternative combination of things a person is able to do or be. Say 1993, page 28. So that capability represents various combination of functioning. Looking all this valuable work, these three critical thinkers put in place, really community development practitioners can emulate and put in place all this theory, more especially in our day-to-day in our Nigerian situation. We can find solutions to address social challenges that we are now. Due to time frame factor, my papers so many. Let me quickly go to that's a slide. Slides. Summary. Go to summary, please. My summary highlights summary, please. Can you go to summary? Summary. Are you there in summary? Yes. Or my conclusion. So now, by integrating this key learning from Marcus, Camus, and Sen philosophies, community development practitioner in Nigeria can promote more inclusive, equitable, and just development outcomes that prioritize the needs and the rights of marginalized communities. Furthermore, this has significantly contributed to our understanding of community development in Nigeria. While their philosophical and economic theories may seem disparate, they collectively offer valuable insight into the complexity of community development in Nigerian context. However, Marcus' critical theory highlighted the need for community to prioritize the empowerment of marginalized groups and challenge dominant power structure. That's where we are today. In my country, Nigeria, that dominant power structure really affects community all over Nigeria. So Nigeria, this means recognizing the historical injustice faced by communities and addressing the systematic inequalities that perpetuate poverty and underdevelopment. You can all agree with me that when you come to Nigeria, really, you all come, you contact, all, you can interact with all this and see all the negative implications that for this dominant power system that we are facing. So according to Haber Marcus, really, when we if you look this in one dimensional man in his book, on dimensional man, Marcus urged that advanced capitalist societies create a one-dimensional culture where individuals are reduced to more consumers, expressing their critical features and creative potential. Now, clearly, what we are now, it really indicates that um, uh, Herbert Marcus' story in this one-dimensional man book, he narrated that this capitalism really deprive people from to stand on their feet, to make a critical thinking on their survivals, but rather they hijack all what they hijack all our thinking to their beneficiaries. Now, Amartya Sen theory on capability approach emphasizes the importance of expanding human capabilities and freedoms. And that's where we are. That's the case is. Not only Nigeria, I believe in all African contexts, that the freedom is being deprived. And this really affects our city, our lives nowadays. If we can utilize the theory of this critical, we can Amartya Sen, Albert Camus, Albert Marcus, really we can address our challenges, and people have the opportunity to think, to improve, to how they can improve their living. Together, the whole Marcus, Camus, Marcus, and Sen offer a nuanced and multifaceted understanding of community development in Nigeria. They remind us that community development is not just about economic growth or infrastructure development, but about creating just, equitable, and flourishing societies. Really, by embracing this principle, we can work toward creating more just, equitable, and flourishing community in Nigeria. Thank you for the listening. I'm grateful. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Now it's time for any queries or doubts to be asked by the audience. You may have mentioned through the chat boxes or can unmute the mic and have the questions.
Any question so far? Any question, comments, observations?
Anyone is there?
No, any question? Once again, I thank you for this golden opportunity and the privilege to me to be part of you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for your presentations and for the efforts. So I think no one have the questions or doubts. So we conclude it.
Thank you.
Thank you, both of you. Thank you, Paul, for moderating the presentation. Now, at last but least, I welcome Vaishnavi for the vote of thanks for this section.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm very grateful, Sophia. God bless you.
Thank you, Anjana. Respected dignitaries, esteemed speakers, and dear students, on behalf of the organizing committee, I extend my sincere gratitude to each and every one of you for contributing to the remarkable success of the final day of the International Conference on Indigenous Social Work. A special note of appreciation goes to Safia PS, Nandana Ragesh, Samshuddin, Bashir, Usman Mohammed for their excellent presentation. Your insights were both enlightening and deeply valued by everyone present. Thank you once again for your significant contribution to this conference. I would also like to express my gratitude to our moderators, Varghese, Aparna, Abhijit, and Shankar for their super presentation of the paper. Your ability to guide discussion with clarity and professionalism was truly commendable. Furthermore, I extend my heartfelt thanks to our audience for their enthusiastic participation.
wallahi kamar da ya ce wallahi ce gida da yana zuwa na ce ga lokacin da ce dan Allah da ka dake mishi
This
na ce wallahi da
interactive
ke shi kama ayya
lastly,
kama
thank you
ya
to
zo
all
ci Mustafa
participants
zai
for
ce
their
wallahi
dedication and
wallahi na ce
contribution. This has been instrumental in the success of this event. Thank you.
Mustafa da na kawo
Once again, thank you all for all being here today. You can leave now.
ita kanta moderator ta wasu fiya ta ce
So, thank you all for joining us. So, our international conference is coming to a conclusion today. Thank you all for your active participation from across the globe for making this event a fruitful one. Thank you all. Thank you so much. So, the participants can leave the meeting. Thank you.